Well, here we are at the end of 2018. Can you believe it? The year just flew by for me. And not necessarily because I was having such a great time. I'll have to say that for my wife and I, for my whole entire family, but mainly for my wife and I, it's been a very dysregulated, topsy-turvy, turbulent time. And not because we have any problems in our marriage. It's just simply some extenuating circumstances that that kind of took us in a direction that we were not expecting to go. But we've had to make several moves, and of different kinds. And change can be good and bad. People like to see, people like regulation. People like regularity. They like being able to know what to expect. But it's good to mix things up every once in a while. It's very good, but it's also good to have consistency. Now, just because I say it's good to change things up doesn't mean that it always feels good, because it does not. But you have to kind of embrace change while you can, from the very onset of it, so that you can be in a positive frame of mind. Now, you have your choice. You don't have to be in a positive frame of mind, but it's good to be in one. Just recently, I was talking to my older brother up in Minnesota via a video, and I said, I know that, I'm anxious for the end of the year to get here and for 2019 to be inducted, and because of the kind of year that I just described to you guys. But I said that I guess it doesn't really make any difference. One day is the same as another. The lapse of one day doesn't make much of a difference, but maybe it does. Maybe it actually does. Because I think there's a change of a mindset, which is why we talk about resolutions and setting them. And not that I'm a big proponent of that. Last year I did make a video concerning that. But there is something to turning a page. There is something to, creating a different mindset and evaluating the year that just passed, what you could have done differently and what you want to do differently now. I think it's very important to do that. Now, here's what I want to say about setting resolutions and maybe just throwing up some offers to you about making them, and maybe some different ways of thinking about them. Many people that I've talked to will say, I'm going to work on being more patient this year. I'm going to work on being more charitable. I'm going to work on, things that are the intangibles. Things that take place in moments of time. And what do I mean by that? Well, here's what I mean. If you are going to say, I'm going to work on being more patient this year, then that's not something you have to apply right now and not every day. Every day is not going to call for that to be exercised. If you're going to say, I'm going to be more charitable, well, when? It requires a circumstance. It requires certain things to fall into place. And I don't think it's really challenging you enough. I don't think it's requiring you to exercise this particular quality or characteristic that we are talking about. And what I want to suggest to you is something a little more tangible. And here's the way I think of it. And perhaps you can put in the comments below your suggestions, your thoughts, and perhaps your method for doing certain things. But here's what I would say. Do something that requires you to use your hands. Just make up your mind this coming year, you're going to do something that requires you to actually use your hands. Instead of just saying, I'm going to be more patient. I'm going to be more charitable. I'm going to be more relaxed. I'm going to be less anxious. Instead of saying something like that, make your mind that you're going to do something with your hands. And number two, do something that requires you to do something with your mind every day. Now, something that you do with your hands could be perhaps a hobby. Something that you do with your mind is even more intensive. It's something you could do every day. And what might that be? Well, it could be keeping a list, writing out a list every day of things that you're thankful about. Things that you can look back at the end of your day and say, I'm thankful for this. You can start off your day by making a list of things that you're thankful for. You could read good books. You could read, there's a lot to be said about what the Bible said, what Jesus said. Man does not live by bread alone, but by every word that proceedeth from the mouth of God. And we get that from the Word of God, the Holy Bible. Now, you may not agree with me, and it's not my point here to try to talk you into that. But there is something about having a source of authority higher than yourself to which you capitulate to. All right? And it is important to spend time bathing in the minds and thoughts of other people who have experienced things and who know more than you do. So exercise your mind every day by reading good material that challenge the way you think without protesting, but just by absorbing and allowing yourself to think through what you've just read, things that may change your mind about any given thing. Now, having said that, let's talk about what you can do with your hands. Now, here's what I would say. If I'm going to throw up, if I'm going to say what I just said, I need to give you examples. An example would be learn how to play a musical instrument. You say, well, I haven't got time for that. You got time for what you want to make time for. If you're watching more than an hour of television every day, then you've got time to do something for yourself. Something that will entertain you. And it's very important to entertain yourself. Very important to entertain yourself. Don't expect anybody else to entertain you. Never ever say to anybody else, you don't entertain me, or you need to entertain me. Never ever say it to anybody, because that's your job. You need to entertain you. Don't expect the TV to do it. Don't expect anybody else to do that for you whatsoever. Make a pact with yourself this year that you're never going to be able to say, I'm bored. I have not been bored in forever. The only time I'm ever remotely bored is when I'm being forced to do something that I really can't do anything about. It's against my will, so to speak. I'm doing something that I really can't get out of, and I'm not busy with my hands or my mind. I'm having just to sit there and wait this thing out. Then I might be bored. But make a pact with yourself this year that you're not going to be bored. Do something with your hands. Might I suggest picking up a musical instrument? Go take lessons. You say, well, not only do I not have time, bullcrap, but I'm too old. Bullcrap. You're not too old. You're just not too old. I've used this illustration before, and I love it, so I'll use it many more times. And that is that John Quincy Adams, I think he was 70 years old, and he started teaching himself, I think it was Hebrew, or he was either Hebrew, or I'm pretty sure it was Hebrew. Okay, you can look it up. You can challenge me on it if you want, but that's the truth. And he was a man who was always learning, always be learning something, but pick up a musical instrument. It requires you to use your hands, but not only to use your hands, but your mind. I play the piano. I try to practice about 3 hours every day. You say, where do you get the time? You know where I get the time? I get it from getting up really early. I try to get the most essential things done at the beginning of my day. Now, the other thing you can do is, with your hands, is exercise. If you're not currently exercising, exercise. Now, when I say this, I would challenge you to make it a point to work out, exercise, not because you're trying to lose weight, but because it'll make you feel better. Forget about trying to lose weight. Just try to feel better by working out. Let that be, if you're going to have a hobby, let that be it. Just have fun with it. Don't go and kill yourself. Don't set unreasonable expectations, but go in there and have fun with it and enjoy it. And be surprised at and just allow yourself to be surprised at what happens. Forget about losing weight. Just try to enjoy feeling good about yourself. Now, I got someone backing up on me here. Let's see what happens. Hope he doesn't hit me. Good Lord. Okay, so another thing is, here's something I'm going to pitch to you that you probably wouldn't think of on your own. Learn how to juggle. Learn how to juggle. And you say, why would I want to do that? Because it's fun. And because most people think that they can't do it. And it's actually much more simple than what you realize. And once you can do just a simple 3-pattern juggle, you're going to be pretty impressed with yourself. You're going to feel proud, and you're going to impress other people. And then you want to learn more. Learn how to juggle. But do simple things. Use your hands. Use your mind. Stop trying to set unreasonable expectations. Stop trying to make yourself fit into a character. Stop trying to take the moral high ground with your resolutions. If you haven't done it before, you're probably not going to do it now. But if you take positive steps by doing something with your hands and something with your mind, you will probably overcome the other obstacles that you've been trying to do all along. And the reason why is when you begin to exceed your boundaries, your normal boundaries, you find out it changes the way you think. For example, juggling. When I juggled a lot, and I've taught my son how to juggle, and he is actually way better than I am now. But when you're juggling and you're always making minor adjustments here and there, things click in your mind about how life works. There's certain things about juggling that you can do that you can go, well, if I take this principle that I'm applying right now and apply it to my life, how would that work? It's the same thing with music. When you're working with music, when you're trying to get better, you have to constantly stretch yourself. You have to stretch your mind. You have to constantly raise your expectations for yourself. It's a very personal, intimate thing. And when you do these things, you begin to think differently about life. You begin to think about ways that you can change the rules, change the way you play the game. And when you do that, and you know that you've come to those realizations on your own, you begin to have a reason to have pride in yourself and to carry your head a little bit higher. And then you know you have something of value to bring to somebody else, whether it's your own children, whether it's the people that you work with, maybe you teach a class somewhere, and it'll open up your mind, and you'll be able to apply these things and share them with others. If you can't do something in this world, if whatever it is you're doing right now, if you can't take it and share it with other people in a way that will help them to positively mold their life, then you're not doing anything of any value. Nothing of any value. So think about that. If you can't give it away, if what you have can't be given away, find something else to do. And if what you are doing can't help somebody else in a positive way, and I'm not talking about charging people, I'm not talking about making money. And making money off this stuff is good. Anything you can do to profit from it is good, as long as it's real, as long as it's authentic. But if what you're doing in your life right now isn't doing any of that, you're doing the wrong thing. So think about that. Do something with your hands. Resolve to do something with your hands. Resolve to do something with your mind in those ways. And I guarantee you that your life will be different in 2019. Give that some thought. Put your comments below. I would love to know what you think. Feel free to disagree with me if you like. But I'd be willing to read them and respond, as you probably know if you've already commented on my videos before. And I hope you have a great New Year's. This will not be my last video before New Year's, but I wanted to get this out while I was still thinking about it and had time. And I thank you for your patronage. If you haven't subscribed already, please do so. And if you haven't liked this video, go ahead and hit that thumbs up. It helps me out. And I hope you guys have a great day. I'll catch you in the flip-flop. All right. Bye-bye.